The Straw Millionaire. A Buddhist parable of gratitude, letting go, and unexpected fortune. Once upon a time, in a quiet village in old Japan, there lived a poor man who had nothing but a kind heart and an open spirit. One night he had a dream. In the dream, the Bodhisattva Canon appeared and said to him, "The first thing you touch when you wake, treasure it. Walk with it, and let life guide the way." When the man awoke, he stumbled as he got up, and his hand touched a piece of straw on the floor. He remembered the dream, picked up the straw, and held it carefully. As he walked through the village, a horsefly buzzed around his head. To keep it from bothering him, he tied the insect to the end of the straw, playfully, like a child. A little while later, he met a crying child on the road. The child was upset and would not stop wailing. But when the child saw the straw and the buzzing fly, he giggled with delight. The child's mother, grateful for the peace, offered the man 3 sweet oranges in return. The man accepted the oranges and continued on. Soon he came upon a tired traveler, nearly fainting from the heat. Without hesitation, he offered the man the oranges. Refreshed, the traveler thanked him and gave him a piece of silk cloth, beautiful, vibrant, and fine. He carried the silk through the city until he came upon a merchant. The merchant admired the cloth and offered him a healthy horse in exchange. With no attachments, the man accepted. He rode the horse, calm and grateful, not seeking anything more. But just then, he came upon a wealthy landowner whose horse had just collapsed from exhaustion. The landowner saw the traveler's strong horse and asked if he might trade it. The man agreed. Impressed by his generosity and humility, the landowner invited the man to stay for a while, and later offered him his daughter's hand in marriage and a place on his estate. And so, the man who had touched only a piece of straw became known as the Straw Millionaire. Not through cunning, not through ambition, but through trust, gratitude, and the willingness to give what he had. Reflection. What we hold may seem worthless, but when we treat it with care and give without clinging, life opens doors we never expected. The Straw Millionaire did not chase fortune. He simply walked with kindness, and the world responded.
You know that feeling when something tiny, almost nothing, somehow turns into something huge, like finding a forgotten penny that leads to a whole chain of good things?
Yeah, it feels a bit like magic sometimes.
Exactly. And that's right at the heart of the Straw Millionaire, or Warashibe Chōja, as it's known in Japan. It's a classic story, right? Many people know it as, a tale about luck, maybe smart trading.
Right. But we think there's much more going on beneath the surface.
That's what we're diving into today. We're looking past the simple success story.
Our mission, really, is to unpack this old allegory using a Buddhist perspective. And it reveals some pretty profound ideas about what being a millionaire truly means. It's probably not what you initially think.
Yeah, our insights are coming from this really interesting analysis called the Straw Millionaire, a Buddhist allegory. It kind of peels back the layers on wealth and prosperity.
And the important thing for you listening is this isn't just us talking about an old folktale.
No, definitely not. It's more like a shortcut to understanding some powerful ideas, principles, really, that might give you some aha moments about your own life, how you deal with things, interact with people, no matter where you're starting from.
It's about finding a richness that's less about, stuff, and more about how you connect with the world. An internal thing.
Okay, so let's unpack this. You look at the story, and yeah, it seems like the Straw Millionaire is just incredibly lucky.
Totally. Straw, then an orange, then cloth, a horse.
Yeah.
Finally, a whole estate.
It really looks like he just kept trading up, getting better deals.
Right.
But the analysis we read points to a core Buddhist idea, Yingaritsu, cause and effect, karma, essentially.
Right.
Which suggests it's not just random luck, there's something more intentional happening. So what's different about his actions?
But what's really fascinating is that he's not just passively receiving stuff. He's actively involved in creating his situation.
Yep.
His very first move shows this Ingaritsu principle perfectly.
The oracle's dream.
Exactly. The oracle tells him to cherish the first thing he touches. And it's just a piece of straw.
Yeah.
Worthless.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, most people would just ignore it.
But he doesn't. He picks it up. He values it. That first tiny action, cherishing the straw, that's the cause. It sets everything else in motion. He's not waiting around hoping for luck. He's actually creating the conditions for things to happen.
Okay, so Ingaritsu is like the law of cause and effect. Every action creates a reaction. But how do these actions connect? Because it's not like straw directly causes mansion, right? There are steps in between.
Exactly. And that brings in the idea of Engi. This is the Buddhist view that everything is interconnected, interdependent.
Okay.
Think of Engi like a huge living web. Every connection, he makes the straw leading to the orange to the cloth isn't just a random trade.
It's part of something bigger.
Yes. It's like threads weaving together. His valuing the straw, the cause, created a connection, which led to someone needing it, which then opened the door to the next opportunity, the next connection. The universe, in a way, responds to his actions and the connections he nurtures. It shows how everything's tangled up together.
Ah, I see. So it's not just event A causes event B. It's more like an ecosystem where things influence each other. That makes sense. Now, here's something that really jumps out when you look at him.
What's that?
He doesn't seem to get attached to anything he gets. He trades the straw, then the orange, then the cloth. He never seems hesitant to let go.
Right.
I mean, if I turned a piece of straw into a nice orange, I probably want to, eat it, or at least hang on to it for a bit. But he doesn't. He's always ready for the next thing. What's that about?
That is such a great observation, and it highlights another key Buddhist principle. 8. Aparigraha.
Non-attachment.
Non-attachment. Okay. Think about it. Most of us, when we get something good, we want to clutch it tight, right? We worry about losing it. Or maybe we get a bit puffed up about having it. We grasp.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
But Buddhism teaches that this very attachment, this grasping, is actually the root of suffering. The straw millionaire's ability not to grasp is seen as the reason he keeps receiving more.
How so?
Because he doesn't hold on to things. He keeps the flow going. It's like his hands are always open. He receives something, uses it, or passes it on, and his hands are open again, ready for whatever comes next. He doesn't let the good thing he just got block the potentially even better thing that's on its way.
Okay, I can see how non-attachment helps you keep moving, prevents getting stuck. But is there danger of just becoming indifferent? If you're always letting go, do you stop caring?
That's a really important point. And aparigraha isn't about not caring or not valuing what you have. It's about not letting your happiness, your sense of who you are, depend on possessing that thing. The straw millionaire, he cherished the straw. Remember, he valued the orange. But he wasn't defined by them. He saw them as maybe temporary tools or steps on the path. This inner freedom, this lack of burden, actually makes him more open to new opportunities and connections. It clears out mental space.
That definitely reframes letting go. It's not about apathy. And it connects to something else you see him doing. He's not just trading up. He's actively giving things away. He gives the orange to a child who's crying. He gives the cloth to someone who's sick and needs it. These aren't exactly shrewd business moves at that moment. He's not demanding an equal trade. He just sees a need and helps.
Exactly. And the analysis calls this, Dana, the practice of generosity in Buddhism.
Yeah.
And the key thing here is he gives without expecting anything back. Zero expectation of return.
Just pure giving.
Just responding to the need right in front of him out of compassion. And the source material really emphasizes this. It's his selfless giving that actually brings support and rewards back to him from the world. It shows how giving itself creates the conditions for receiving.
Wow.
If you connect that to the bigger picture, it's like, so what you put out there, generosity, kindness, maybe just paying attention, it tends to circle back, often in ways you don't expect, from places you don't expect. He's building this like network of goodwill through his actions.
So it's less like a transaction and more like planting seeds of goodwill. He's not waiting for a thank you note or a direct swap, just putting good out there. That's quite profound. But how does someone who starts with literally nothing but straw keep that mindset? Wouldn't you be totally focused on what you lack?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it leads us to another crucial concept, the suho, Shōyoku-Chisoku.
Okay, what does that mean?
It translates roughly as having few desires and knowing contentment. It's a really central Buddhist teaching, seeing the path to inner peace, even enlightenment.
Contentment, even with just a straw.
Especially with just a straw. His attitude of making the most of what he had, right then and there, instead of obsessing over what he didn't have or constantly wanting more, that's what changed everything for him.
So he wasn't thinking, just straw, I need a house.
No, more like, okay, I have this straw. What's its potential right now? What can I do with it? His contentment with that humble beginning, seeing its value rather than its insignificance, That's what launched him. It stopped him from getting trapped in that cycle of always wanting more, which can lead to frustration or just inaction.
That feels so countercultural today. We're always told to want more, achieve more, never be satisfied. But this story suggests real abundance flows from sufficiency, from appreciating and using what's already there.
Precisely.
So when you put all these pieces together, the cause and effect of Ingaritsu, the interconnectedness of Enji, the letting go of aparigraha, the selfless giving of Dana, and this deep contentment, Shōyoku-Chisoku, wow, it totally changes the story.
It really does.
It's not just a lucky guy getting rich. It's someone living by these deep principles.
Absolutely. And the analysis concludes by saying the straw millionaire isn't just successful. He's actually a kind of model for modern practitioners.
Model?
Tisha.
How so?
As someone who lives in harmony with the world, because he actively works with connections, he practices non-attachment, he embodies generosity, and he finds richness in contentment. He's described almost like a upasaka, a lay practitioner, someone walking a spiritual path while living an ordinary secular life, dealing with everyday stuff, just like us. Which kind of raises a big question, doesn't it? If someone in the thick of everyday life, starting with nothing, can live these principles and see that kind of transformation, what does that suggest about the potential for all of us, right here, right now?
Yeah, it really flips the script on what wealth even means. It's not just about piling up stuff or status.
Or no.
The Straw Millionaire story, seen this way, teaches that real wealth comes from how you engage with everything around you. Understanding connections, letting go of outcomes, being generous, finding satisfaction.
And these aren't just, nice philosophical ideas from an old story.
Yeah.
The point is they're practical. They're insights you can actually use to maybe reshape your own daily life.
How you think about your possessions, maybe, or how you approach giving, or even just finding peace with what you have right now.
Exactly. It's a shift maybe from always trying to get things to focusing more on being and giving. And paradoxically, that often creates the space for receiving in really unexpected ways.
So here's something to maybe mull over after listening. A final thought to carry with you.
Okay.
What might shift in your own life, in your own world, if you started to approach even the smallest things you know? A fleeting moment, a chance encounter, a single idea, maybe even something someone else discarded with the same kind of care, the same openness, the same eye for potential as the man who started his journey with just one single piece of straw.